What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. Let's start with some baseball. Not too many games yesterday. Reds shot the Mets 5-0. Mets continue to struggle. They really got to pick it up. One day they don't get great starting pitching, and they score a bunch of runs. The star gets knocked out in the fourth inning. Next day they get, they'll get something out of their starting pitching, but they'll don't get any run support. Their lineup is inconsistent. Their rotation's been terrible. But overall, it's been good. I mean, they've had to go to their depth guys: Tommy Hunter, Jeff Brigham, Jimmy Yacobonis, Dominic Leone. They have on the roster now. Far too often early on this season. Their big guys: Ottavino, Robertson have been really good. Robertson's been great. Ottavino has been decent. You got Brooks Raley, been up and down, but lately it's been pretty good. Drew Smith's been pretty good. So they're both, but at least the back end, they're both on the guys that we need to show up have, for the most part, shown up. So they just got to get more strong pitching and maybe might need one more bat. Their lineups been a little inconsistent. The back of that order has not hit it really all year. Kansas City beats the White Sox 4-3. Texas beats Oakland 4-0. Twins over the Padres 5-3. Rays beat the Yankees 8-2. They continue to roll, and the Giants beat Diamondbacks 6-2. So what we had, let's talk about the NHL playoffs. The Carolina Hurricanes defeat the New Jersey Devils 3-2 in overtime. They win the series in 5 games. So the Carolina Hurricanes are heading to the Eastern Conference Finals. Brett Burns had a goal. Yeah, really good series. Jesper Fast with the game-winning goal, a deflection in overtime. Burns' goal came late in the second period, of 38 seconds left in the second period to tie the game, and 27 saves from Frederik Andersen. Carolina moves on. They go to the Eastern Conference Finals. I thought the Devils might win the series at the top of it because Carolina's lack of goal scoring, but Carolina proved me wrong, and a lot of other people wrong. I think a lot of other people had the Devils advancing in this series. But so Carolina moves on. The Devils did not really get the same goaltending they got in the first round against the Rangers. Obviously, the first 2 games they had Vanecek in, and he struggled. He gave 5 goals in each game, and then Lindy Ruff goes to Akira Schmidt, who was phenomenal in the last 5 games of that series. He wasn't as good this series. He got pulled, I think, in game 1. Didn't really make a difference. He might have gotten pulled in maybe game 2 or game 4 as well. But I'm not sure. But they went back to Vanecek for this game. I didn't really understand why. Yes, Akira Schmidt didn't have a great series, and he was not as good as he was in the first round in this series. Against the Rangers, he was really good. But there's no doubt that he was the Devils' best goalie this postseason. He gave them the best chance to win. Just look at the numbers, look at the way the Devils played. That really didn't make any sense. But Carolina wins in overtime. Devils took a delay game penalty, which I think is the stupidest penalty in hockey. They should get rid of that. Just whatever team, sends it over the boards, making the face-off in the other teams and the opposite team's offensive zone. I don't really think that should be a penalty. Tough one to lose a season, but Devils had a great year. Made the playoffs for the first time in 11 years. They were third or fourth in the Eastern Conference. They were second in the Metro. Beat a really good Rangers team in the first round. They have a really good young core, and they should be good for a long time. But Carolina moves on. Dallas Stars beat the Seattle Kraken 5-2. Roope Hintz had 2 goals and assists. A goal and assist for Joe Pavelski. 3 assists for Jason Robertson. Dallas takes a 3-2 series lead. That's been a very good series. A good amount of games have been close. We've had a couple of games that have been a little lopsided, like that game was. Dallas went up 2-0. Then Seattle made it 3-2. Well, the Dallas lead was cut to 1 at 3-2. Then Dallas pulls away in the end. They win 5-2. They're up 3 games, 2-2 in that series. As for the Edmonton-Vegas series, we have game 5 tonight. Both teams were missing one of their best defensemen. Edmonton will not have Darnell Nurse. The Golden Knights will have Alex Pietrangelo. They are both suspended for Game 5. Pietrangelo had a very two-handed vicious slash on Leon Draisaitl in Game 4. So I think definitely deserves to be suspended. That was very vicious. I think definitely a dirty play. Definitely it was almost like a frustration slash almost. Darnell Nurse got suspended for instigating a fight in the final 5 minutes. Say what you want. Oh, it's hockey. He started the fight. So what? That is a rule out in the NHL. The rule is if you instigate a fight in the final 5 minutes of the game, you do get suspended for a game. It's kind of a stupid rule, but based off the rule, Nurse deserves to be suspended. So both teams are down one of their best defensemen in Game 5. Ryan Reynolds will not be buying the Ottawa Senators. His bid will not make it through to the next step, so he's not going to buy the team. He's probably the best option so far because he's from Ottawa and he's the only guy who's buying it, who's looking to buy, who has experience with having part ownership of a team. He has part ownership of a soccer team. I don't even know what it's called. I don't follow soccer, but he's probably would have been the most logical option. You got Snoop Dogg's group, and then you have the Weeknd, who's a rapper, his group. Those appear to be the two main groups right now. That's when it comes to the big names. So Ryan Reynolds not going to be buying the Senators. On to the NBA, we had some playoffs last night. Boston Celtics forced Game 7. They beat the Sixers 95-86. Marcus Smart 22 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Embiid 26 and 10 and 3 blocks in the loss. I want to talk a little bit about this game. Philly blew it. Philly for 3 quarters was the better basketball team, I thought. Jason Tatum through 3 quarters was 1 of 14 from the field. 1 of 14 from the field in the third quarter. He made 3 threes in the last 5 minutes of the game, so he came alive late. Overall, we really struggled, but he did some other things. He was good defensively. He grabbed 9 or 10 boards. He had 7 or 8 assists. But he was awful from the field for the first 3 quarters, but late in the game, he had a couple of big shots for the Celtics. At one point, the Philadelphia 76ers were 4 of 19 from the field in the fourth quarter. That does not make any sense. Joel Embiid did not touch the ball in the last 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. You have the league's most valuable player on your team, and he did not touch the ball in the last 4 minutes. That makes no sense whatsoever. I don't get it. And he played well last night. He had 26 points and 10 rebounds, plus he had blocked 3 shots. How does Joel Embiid not have the ball in the last 4 minutes? It's not only they didn't have a shot attempt, he didn't touch the ball in the last 4 minutes. That's egregious. That is on Coach Doc Rivers. That's on Harden, who, a couple of times he's trying to get to the hole and he kind of put up a 4 shot and a layup and he missed. He turned him over once or twice. Harden's got to know. This is Embiid's team. It always has been. Harden's had a couple of big games this series. He had 45 in Game 1. He had 42 in Game 4. But in Game 2, he was horrible. Game 3, he was horrible. He was okay in Game 5, and he was meh last night. I think he had 19 or something. He was okay last night. Outside of the 240 burgers, he has not been that great this series overall. Overall, I'll say he's been okay. Been inconsistent this series. Obviously, when he's been on, he's got a couple of 240 burgers where he was incredible. But the other couple of games, the other 4 games, he's been anywhere from bad to okay. And being not having the ball in the last 4 minutes is abysmal. Terrible. So you got when the Celtics star player was 1 of 14 through 3 quarters, 0 of 10 at the half. Was 0 of 10, 1 point at the half, was 1 of 14 for 7 points through 3 quarters. And V gave you 26 and 10 on a broken wrist or whatever he's got, or whatever it is, his foot, broken foot, whatever it is. And you go out and shoot 4 of 19 the fourth quarter. You don't even let Embiid touch the ball in the last 4 minutes. I don't understand. I just don't. And now Game 7 shifts back to TD Garden on Mother's Day, which is of course on Sunday. And Boston's got the momentum. Tatum was able to come up big after a tough first 3 quarters. In game 6, obviously they had the big comeback in the fourth quarter. They'll be at home. They're the better team. Game 7, Doc Rivers is horrible when in the big games, but the Boston Celtics definitely have the advantage right now. By the way, if Philly loses, I think Doc Rivers should be fired. How many leads has this guy blown? Countless leads with the Clippers. Of course, the one that comes to mind was him blowing the 3-1 lead to Dallas in the second round a few years ago. He's blowing countless leads. He blew a 3-1 lead in the second round to Atlanta 2 years ago. Now he might be about to blow a 3-2 lead to Boston. This team has not been out of the second round. I mean, they should all be held accountable. Harden is not what he wants, but he's still a good player. Give you 20 points and 10 assists. Really good second or third option, but he's not the player he once was. He's really never been that great in the playoffs. It was horrible in the playoff last year, besides the one game where he can give you like 33, 8, 9. I thought he was terrible. In the first round, he was okay. That was a very, very favorable matchup for the Sixers against the Brooklyn Nets. In the series, outside he was great in game 1, gave you 45. Great in game 4, I gave you 42. But has not been really that good the rest of the series. Was horrible in game 2. Horrible in game 3. It's been mediocre in game 5 and 6. And I know he's the MVP of the league. He gave you 33 and 10 in the regular season. I know he's playing hurt. Overall, I think he's played well. But this guy's not going out of the second round. And if they don't get out of the second round again and they're a blown lead, they got to look at it and be like, look, they gave him Ben Simmons. That didn't work. Ben Simmons was abysmal in that playoffs, especially in that series against Atlanta. But that didn't work. Before that, they gave him Jimmy Butler, and that didn't work out. How you have Jimmy Butler on your team and not when I go to at least the conference finals is beyond me when you have talent like Joel Embiid along with him. And then I gave him James Harden, and it hasn't worked. He was not that, last year in the regular season after he came over from Brooklyn, really wasn't anything that special, to be honest. He got his first couple games, played well. I thought that wasn't that great. He was terrible in the playoffs. This year was good, but, he's been inconsistent in this playoffs. But Harden deserves some blame as well. And you might want to, and maybe it's time for another coach talk for Embiid. I might, may have to reconsider, bringing him back Harden, if he outside of his contract, which he probably will. But something's got to change if they lose. This team, I know Boston on paper is the better basketball team. Most of the year, they're the 1 seed. The last quarter, Milwaukee took over. They're on paper. Boston's probably the best team in the league. But, this team, I thought slowed down. I thought the first half they were unstoppable. Second half, they're a little more human. They slipped to the 2 seed. The fact that it took them 6 games to finish off Atlanta, I thought was a little concerning. I didn't love the way they looked. And also, Jason Tatum has not been good this series. He was good the first 2 games. Game 4. First half, he was like 1 of 7. Game 3, he was horrible. He had 7 points. Game 4. First half was like 1 of 7. He finished with 24. Outside of grabbing the 18 rebounds, wasn't that great. A little better in the second half, but still overall not very good. Game 5. He was like 1 of 7, 1 of 8 in the first half. Much better in the second half. Gave you 31 in the second half, but still, I still didn't think the numbers told the whole story. Overall from the field was not good, and he was overall horrible last night. I know he came alive in the fourth quarter. People were like, "Oh, he came alive in the fourth quarter." It was the last 5 minutes. He did some other things. He was good defensively. He grabbed like 8, 9, 10 boards. He had 7 or 8 assists. He did some other things. But through 3 quarters, he was 1 of 14 with 7 points. At the half, he was 0 of 10. This guy is like 3 of 24 or something in the first half of the last 3 games. And he had 7 points in game 3. He has been horrible this series. Remember, this isn't the first time a team has struggled in the playoffs. Last year in the finals, he was horrible. Horrible in the finals last year. If Tatum was Tatum in the finals, Boston might have beaten Golden State. He had one of the worst shooting performances by a superstar ever in the finals last year. I know you nicked up shoulder, but he's a superstar. Next summer, the Celtics have to pay him $310 million. He's eligible for a 5-year, $310 million extension. $310 million. That is over $60 million a year. He cannot be going out in the postseason, regardless of how good he is in the regular season. He cannot be going out in the postseason and be going 1 of 14 from the field and expect them to give him $310 million. If they give Jaylen Brown $295 over 5 years, which he is eligible for this summer. He's got to be better. Like, I can't imagine Philly shoots 4 of 19 in the fourth quarter in Game 7. I doubt it. If Tatum was 1 of 14 again in the first 3 quarters, I think Philly wins. And I think Philly goes to the conference finals. So Game 7 on Sunday will be an incredible game. And on to the next game. Denver Nuggets beat the Phoenix Suns 125-100. Denver Nuggets win the series in 6 games. They move on to the Western Conference Finals. They'll play the winner of the Los Angeles Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. They play tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Game 6. Lakers play 3 games to 2. They're Lakers trying to move on. Nikola Jokic had a triple-double, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists. Outside of Cameron Payne having a great game, he had 31. At one point, he was 7 of 7 from downtown. The Suns played awful. This team is a joke. An absolute joke. Kevin Durant was not that great last night. He was 2 of 11 for 8 points in the first half. Devin Booker was not that good. Also, Devin Booker, when you are winning, you're running your mouth. I'm not saying he's not running his mouth, but after the game he's talking, he's all happy. And this guy, he not talk to the media. Grow a set, my guy. You got to grow up, okay, Devin Booker. You are one of the biggest crybabies in the league. He is an incredible player, outstanding player, a top 20, if not top 15, maybe even top 10 guy in this league. And he was amazing this playoffs. He averaged like 37, 36, 35 points a game this playoffs. He was incredible. They're comparing his playoff run to Kobe Bryant when Kobe was in his prime. He was incredible. First of all, the last 2 games, he was terrible. He was not very good in Game 6. He was not very good in Game 5, and not very good in Game 6. Not good enough. He was not good enough. He just was not. This Suns core is not going to win a championship. 2 years ago, they went up 2-0 in the finals, and they blew it. They lost 4 straight. I know the Bucks had Giannis. That was a really good team. Giannis was phenomenal in that finals, and he was phenomenal that postseason. He's arguably the best player in the world for a reason. Well, obviously, he was, I think it might have been one of his MVP years. But still, you went up 2-0 and you blew it. When they're up 2-0 in the finals, you got to finish it off. Last year, they had a 60-win season. Best record in the NBA, looked unstoppable. Were the consensus pick to win the finals. Everyone thought to win the finals. And you blow a 3-2 lead to an inferior Dallas Mavericks team in the second round. Luka was incredible. He had an incredible series. That being said, the Suns were a much better basketball team than the Dallas Mavericks. And in Game 7 on your home court, you get embarrassed. They were down 30 at the half in that game. They scored 27 points in Game 7 against Dallas last year. 27 as a team. No, not them. Not Devin Booker had 27 on his own, or Chris Paul on his own. The Suns as a team had 27 points in the first half. The whole meme is Chris Paul hitting a free to trim the lead to 42. They were down 45 at one point in that game. They were down by 45 gosh darn points in their own building in a Game 7 against an inferior opponent. I'm not saying Dallas was horrible. They were a good team. Luke was great. Had a phenomenal series. But in an inferior opponent. This year, you had Kevin Durant, When healthy, KD is probably the best player in the league, one of the best scorers of our generation, if not the best scorer of our generation, and one of the best scorers this league's ever seen. Devin Booker, a phenomenal player, was maybe the best player in the postseason outside of Game 6 and outs for the entire first round against whoever they played, the Clippers, whoever it was, and then at least the first 4 games of this series against Denver. And y'all lose in the second round. Denver's a good basketball team. Nikola Jokic is amazing. I thought should have been the MVP. Obviously, he's been a top 3 player in the league the last 3 years. He is, I'm not even sure if he's human. He's amazing. He is an outstanding player. There's a reason Denver is the best team in the Western Conference this year. But those 2 teams are very similar. They rely heavily on their stars, Phoenix, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker. Denver, Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray when he's healthy. He's been healthy this postseason. He's been phenomenal. But both have really no depth, and both don't play a lot of defense. So, all right, this should be a pretty even series. Anyone's series probably goes 7. But if I'm taking a star duo, maybe this year I'm taking Jokic over Kevin Durant because Kevin Durant only played 47 games, and Jokic Jokic almost won his third straight MVP. But obviously, KD when he's healthy is probably the best player in the league, and Devin Booker is better than Jamal Murray. Nothing against Jamal Murray. When healthy, he's a phenomenal player. He has been amazing this playoffs. But Devin Booker also is an incredible player and is a better basketball player than Jamal Murray. The Suns' depth is outside of that. It's Chris Paul was hurt. You had Cameron Payne. He's decent. Who the freak else? Landry Shamet's pretty good. Ayton's a good defender. And in Denver, it's just Aaron Gordon, who's a great defender. You got Michael Porter Jr., who's a very good defender, but is an inconsistent shooter. When he's on, though, is really good. And then I guess Bruce Brown, who's not that great, but he can defend, and that's about it. Who's this guy on the Suns? Jock Landale? I had never even heard of him until the series. I swear to God. Who the heck is this guy? The Suns on paper should won the series, and they did not. They lost in Game 6, and for the second year in a row, they got blown out on their home court. On their home court, got to win to stay alive in Game 6 versus Game 7. They were down 30 at the half. They gave up 81 and a half in a win-or-go-home game on your home court. You have 81 and a half. And now the new meme is Cameron Payne hit the first to couple to 33. They were down 30 at the half. They lost by 25, and at one point were down by 36. Monty Williams needs to go. He's an incredible man. Obviously, he's overcome a lot of hardships in his life. I think he's a good coach. But with this core, the fact that he's outside, all he's done is blown a 2-0 finals lead and lost from the second round with a team that should have been in the finals, if not won the finals, especially last year, twice in a row. It's not working. He's got to go. The Suns are shopping Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. Right move. Chris Paul is not the same player. He'll be 38 next year. He gave you 13 points a game in success this year. His guaranteed salary doubles on June 28th. He's not worth that kind of money anymore. He's got to go. Under his leadership, the Suns have blown a 2-0 lead in the finals and lost from the second round when they should have at least been in the finals, if not won the finals in back-to-back years. It's time to move on. They got to get a younger point guard. Maybe a guy who can defend. I heard Fred VanVleet as an option. Maybe Terry Rozier as an option. And DeAndre Ayton, he doesn't want to be there. He has not wanted to. He didn't want to be there last year. You could tell him and Monty were always clashing. When they asked Monty why Ayton didn't play a lot in Game 7, he just was like, that's just the way it worked out. Ayton over the offseason, didn't seem very happy. Ayton and Monty didn't talk in the offseason. He signed a deal with Indiana. Indiana signed him to an offer sheet. The Phoenix just matched it. Ayton would rather play in Indiana for the Indiana freaking Pacers than play for the Phoenix Suns. And when they asked him about, were you happy you got with the deadline, he was like, I felt okay. The deal's done. Shirley wasn't happy. You could tell throughout the year on the bench, he's looked annoyed, frustrated. I heard Ayton would like a fresh start. Also, he's not that good. I'm sorry, Ayton's not that good. He's very good. He's a real good rim protector, and he can rebound. Outside of that, he's not giving you much offensively. He's overrated. Get him out of there. The Suns are a joke, and this season is a failure. So Antel's schedule is out. We'll talk about this before we close out the show. There's a lot of exciting games. We got Thursday Night Football. We got Lions Chiefs to open up. I talked about this yesterday. We had Zach Contrell call in. Could have been better. I would have liked to see Bengals or Bills, maybe the Chargers, but I think Lions Chiefs will be a solid first game. Here, I'm going to go over all the primetime games. We got on Thursday Night Football, week 2, we have Vikings Eagles. Should be decent. Week 3, Giants 49ers. Week 4, Lions Packers. Not staying without Rodgers. Week 5, Bears Commanders. Hopefully it's better than last year's Bears Commanders matchup on Thursday Night Football. Week 6, Broncos Chiefs. Week 7, Jaguars Saints. Week 8, Bucks Bills. Week 9, Titans Steelers. Week 10, Panthers Bears. Week 11, Bengals Ravens. Pretty good. Week 12 on Friday, Black Friday, but Prime has it. Day after Thanksgiving, Dolphins Jets. Week 13, Seahawks Cowboys should be good. Week 14, Patriots Steelers. Week 15, Chargers Raiders. Week 16, Saints Rams. Week 17, Jets Browns. So last year, the matchups on Thursday Night Football were very underwhelming. I don't know how much better they're going to be this year. There's a lot of mediocre matchups, a couple of ones that don't look so good, a couple of decent ones, but I think they're okay. Hopefully Al Michaels won't, be half dead when he's calling these games. I'm not even blaming him. He's 80 years old. And, you got, a 15 to 12 or 13 Broncos Colts game. Whatever the heck that Bears Commanders game was, I would be half dead too if I was calling those games, especially if I was 8 years old. So then, Sunday Football, by the way, Lions Chiefs is going to be on NBC, by the way. And then we got week 1 will be Cowboys and Giants. They always play on Sunday Football. It should be a good one. Week 2, Dolphins Patriots. It's a rivalry game. Week 3, Steelers Raiders. Week 4, Chiefs Jets. Should be a great game. First one we've gotten Rodgers against Mahomes. First time the home will hurt. Second time Aaron had COVID-19. Week 5, Cowboys Niners should be a good game. 2 very historical franchises. Week 6, Giants Bills. Should be pretty good. Week 7, Dolphins Eagles. The 2 Alabama kids. 2 of them kind of hurts. Of course, they went to college. They were teammates at one point. Tua replaced Hurts in the national championship a couple years back, and then Hurts transferred to Oklahoma, where his rest is history. Week 8, Bears Chargers. Week 9, Bills Bengals. Be a phenomenal game. Week 10, Jets Raiders. Week 11, Vikings Broncos. On Thanksgiving, the nightcap. Week 49ers against the Seahawks. By the way, these Thanksgiving games do not look good. Cowboys Commanders. The Commanders don't. They're very murky this year. You have Packers Lions. Without Aaron Rodgers, it's not the same. And 49ers Seahawks could be good, but overall Thanksgiving games aren't that good. Week 12, Ravens and Chargers. Week 13, Chiefs Packers. Week 14, Eagles Cowboys. Big divisional rivalry should be going. Week 15, Ravens Jaguars should be a good game. Week 16, Bengals Steelers, AFC New York rivalry. Week 16, Bills Chargers should be good. And week 17, Packers Vikings. Week 18, we're to be determined. They'll probably flex something there. Like if just Patriots who were playing week 18, if that game is meaningful, I can see them flexing that to that spot. So overall, so they're look pretty good. There's a couple of not so inspiring ones, some mediocre ones. Overall, they got a lot of decent games. Should be a couple of really good ones. Overall, I'm very excited. Monday Night Football. Week 1, we got Bills Jets. That's going to be actually on 9/11, so it'll be a nice little tribute. We're having 2 New York teams play on 9/11. Week 2, there'll be 2 of them: Saints Panthers and Browns Steelers. Both divisional rivalries, but all these teams are kind of mediocre. Saints might win their division, but they'll be 9-8 because that division's horrible. I think Browns Steelers will be on ABC, so they can play them both at the same time. And ESPN and ABC are both owned by Disney. Week 3 is also 2: Eagles Bucks and Rams Bengals. I think Eagles Bucks will be on ABC. That game's going to be on ABC. I mean, Bengals Rams is a rematch from the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but the Rams obviously are not the same team. Week 4, Falcons Jaguars. I don't know why that's a matchup. And we also have that game's actually that game will be on might be on ESPN Plus or something. Yeah, that game will be on that game might be on ESPN Plus or ABC or something. Yeah, that can be on ESPN Plus, and then you also have that week Seahawks Giants should be pretty good. Week 5 Packers Raiders. I don't know why they really come up with that one. Week 6 Cowboys Chargers should be pretty good. Week 7 49ers and Vikings. Week 8 Raiders Lions. Why do the Raiders just have like 5 primetime games? I don't get it. They've been horrible for most of the last 20 years. They sucked last year. Aren't that much better. Week 9 Chargers Jets. Week 10 Broncos Bills. Week 11 is Eagles Chiefs Super Bowl rematch. Will be an incredible game. Week 12 Bears Vikings. Week 13 Bengals Jaguars should be going. Week 14 will be Titans and Dolphins. We also have Packers Giants. Packers Giants will be on ABC. Week 15 Chiefs and Patriots. Week 16 on Christmas Day will be Ravens against the 49ers. That should be good. That will be on ABC. And week 17 will be Cowboys Lions. Should be a good game. That game will be on Saturday night, but ESPN will be covering it. And then week 18, January 6th, will be there's going to be 2 games, but we don't know which games yet. We gotta wait to see what games. We'll get flex there, but that's your Monday football schedule. Looks like we got a lot of good games. A couple of not so great games, a couple of okay games, but there's also a lot of very good games here as well. And by the way, Tom Brady is looking to buy the Raiders. I mean, I guess to maybe tell Jimmy Garoppolo that he owns them after all. Maybe he'll come back and play for the 84th time. I don't know. But he's looking to buy a stake in the Raiders. All right, that is all I got for you guys today. Today is Friday, so won't see you for a couple of days. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Until next time, so long. Have a great day.